So I'm pretty sure I've discussed before my acute arachnophobia, how, spiders are terrifying to me, but they are some of my favorite creatures. So anytime there's a movie, usually they're horror movies that feature them, I always got to watch it because it's either going to be ridiculously bad or ridiculously good. Like Eight-Legged Freaks, the movie Arachnophobia with Jeff Daniels. I mean, there's just many different types. So when I saw this new trailer for Sting, a movie about a giant spider a movie about a small spider that ends up growing into a very, very large spider and terrorizing this family. I was stoked. I was like, all right, let's see what 2024 spider movies can give us. And honestly, Sting was freaking awesome. It was horrifically bad, but also like just fantastic. I mean, it follows this girl, Charlotte. Of course, naturally, her name would be Charlotte, right? Charlotte's Web. But it follows this girl, Charlotte, and she ends up finding this spider and, putting it in a jar and keeping it as a pet and everything. And as she's feeding the spider like crickets, the spider is growing exponentially fast. It's just getting bigger when it shouldn't. It's the size of a dime about, and then it gets to about the size of a $50, within a couple of hours, and or a whole dollar, should I say. And it's pretty freaky, right? And she ends up, wondering like what species this spider is, and, has one of her neighbors help her like try to decipher what type of spider it is, only for the spider to then become enlarged and actually escape into the apartment complex that she lives at. And to be fair, spoiler alert, the spider came from space, right? So that was like the ridiculous, horrifically bad part, because in the beginning they talk about like a meteor shower coming and like, debris landing on Earth, and this little pellet slams into the window of one of the apartment rooms, and it catches open, and this spider comes out, like literally like an actual spider, like a space spider, but it looks like a normal black widow. So I mean, I kind of wish that it was some type of gas or bacteria that infected a spider and actually made that spider into like a monster, versus it literally coming from space. I mean, it was just like, what? But other than that, I mean, it was a pretty cool movie. And to top it off, the spider is very reminiscent of the spider from that Adam Sandler movie, Spaceman, where it has like an actual mouth, and then it's got its multiple eyes, but like it actually has like a mouth, like a human mouth. And it's just hilarious, right? But the spider ends up becoming the size of a freaking German Shepherd by the end of the movie. And it's pretty terrifying. I mean, again, it wasn't as scary as I thought it was going to be, because I was more or less expecting like crazy, spider scares, which there were here and there that were pretty good. But honestly, the spider grows so quick that they should have almost made it like a Netflix series or something to have hour-long episodes showing how the spider is progressing. But like I said, it does grow within a couple of hours, and within like 2-3 days, it's literally almost the size of a small dog, and it's just terrorizing the apartment. It's killing people, climbing into people's mouths and shit when it's about the size of a fist. And it's pretty good. I mean, it was a very fantastic movie. Like I said, the fact that the main character's name was Charlotte was pretty funny. It was a nice little touch, but I wish the spider wasn't from space. That was just absolutely ridiculous. And I mean, the family themselves, like her parents, because she has a father, a stepdad, her mom, and then her baby brother, which is, fathered by the stepdad. And the family's actually really cool. Like, all the acting was pretty solid across the board. It turns out like the mom's aunt and her mom own the apartment that they live in, but the mom is like this not the mom, her mom has like she's got dementia, and pretty much the aunt is just like this Cruella de Vil like kind of bitch who's just rude and mean and pretty much evil. Like she's pretty much the villain of the story, even though the spider is like the main villain, antagonist. But the acting was pretty solid all the way across the board. It was totally believable. Like, I felt for the family. I wanted the family to survive. And I gotta say this one character who's the exterminator, the bug guy, he was awesome. The black dude was hilarious, and he ends up coming in. The way the movie starts is kind of how the movie ends. So it's one of those movies where it starts with the ending, and it was just phenomenal. Like, I really enjoyed it. I was bummed that it was having such a limited release. I mean, hopefully, when it comes out, it's on Netflix or Hulu or something that's more accessible to watch, instead of like HBO Max or like Paramount or Peacock or some shit. Hopefully someone picks it up, because it's totally worth watching. I mean, it is very much so a fun movie. And again, I mean, if you like spiders, you'll love this movie. If you don't like spiders, you know, it's a scary movie. So for me, I was definitely going in with the expectation that I was going to be frightened and terrified. And halfway through the movie, when the spider becomes as big as it is still kind of freaky. But then when they show it, they don't show it as much until like the end. So I was kind of pleased about that because, you know, it probably would have been more or less CGI'd. I kind of want to watch the behind the scenes to see if they even used an animatronic spider, because they had to have in at least 2 scenes, you know, for the ending and maybe like the mid. But yeah, honestly, it was a fantastic movie, and I would definitely suggest y'all to watch it. You know, again, if you like horror movies, if you like spiders, if you like creepy crawly arachnids, just watch it. You'll love it. If you don't, maybe you could skip it. But honestly, I would say it's good enough to watch it. You know, it's bad because it's cheesy. Like I said, damn space spider, but it was still pretty awesome. And the movie ends on the prospects of a sequel, which you know it won't happen. But the spider ends up laying eggs, and the eggs are all like, there's like, you know, 6, 7 of them, like a whole bundle. And then at the end they hatch. So obviously there's going to be multiple spiders now running around getting giant. But it kind of reminds me of like big ass spiders. Like, what is the spider just going to get super huge if it wasn't killed? If it just kept eating, it would just keep growing. I mean, that's pretty freaking terrifying to fight a like monstrous army of giant spiders. Not down, you know. But yeah, Sting, definitely check it out. I mean, it's in theaters right now. Like I said, limited release. So if you have the time, watch it. If not, hopefully it comes out on a good streaming service, but I definitely suggest you watch Sting. Anyway, this has been Ghost in the Craig. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like, share, and subscribe. And I'm going to go take a shower because I now feel like shit's just crawling all over me.